Hi, I wanted to chat this morning about the importance of sort of free range, organic and grass-fed beef and animals basically being treated in a, you know, a civil and ethical manner before we actually get to eat them. It's not just a matter of the sort of ethics around battery hens and that sort of thing. It also influences the actual nutritional value of what you eat. So we are what we eat, but what we eat will depend on what that animal's eaten. An example of this is cows which are fed a high grain diet tend to have a very poor ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids. So grain-fed cattle will have 20 omega-6 to 1 omega-3. And the reason the ratio of omega-6 and omega-3 is important is if you have too many 6s, then you're going to be in slightly more pro-inflammatory state than if you have a nice balance of 3s and 6s. And if you think about modern diet, we have heaps of 6s from vegetable oil, all the kind of commercially processed foods, cakes, biscuits, pastries and so on, all very high in omega-6, plus we eat way too many grains in relation to omega-3s.
So what's the problem with having too much omega-6?
Well, the issue there is you overload one of your inflammatory pathways, and then you create too many of a pro-inflammatory hormone in the body. Yeah, so what that would mean in the real world is aches and pains would be worse.
Right.
Inflammatory disorders like asthma, hay fever, arthritis, heart disease, Alzheimer's, these are all on the increase. And one of the theories is that this is linked to this pro-inflammatory diet that most of the Western population is eating. So if you take grass-fed beef, for example, that cow actually eats grass like it's supposed to, rather than a version of cornflakes which are designed to fatten it up really quickly, because grains, high sugar plus high omega-6 tends to increase body weight and fat mass very, very fast. So grass-fed beef is leaner in general, it's much lower in total fat, and it's much higher in omega-3s. So the ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 in grass-fed beef is about 3 omega-6 to 1 omega-3. And that's much closer to the ratio that we should actually eat in our diets to have a nice balance of these fatty acids. Plus it tastes good too. So this is a recipe book I've written recently. This is a pre-release copy, and this is one of the recipes using grass-fed beef to make, you know, homemade burgers and a red cabbage salad. But there's heaps of different things you can do with grass-fed minced beef, bolognese, chili, lasagnas, and all the rest of it.
And I suppose there's lots of other things that you can add to those recipes which you talk about in your book, which help improve the nutritional content as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the concepts is around how you construct a meal. So all meals are constructed around high protein intake, and then you have the next thing you think about in the meal is a plant-based food with additional protective value. So green leafy veg, you know, something which has got a high antioxidant content or a high nutrient density. Then you think about the good fats, which are either going to occur in the meat or that you might add to make a dressing or in terms of nuts and seeds. And then you'd think of ancillary nutrients like spices, herbs, condiments like the mustards and things like that that bring the dish to life and make it really taste good. And then according to your activity patterns, you then look at your starches and other high energy density foods and place them in according to the demands of your sport or active lifestyle and training and so on. That's all explained in the book there.
Okay, cool.